Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, today we have two very different stories, both regarding YouTube influencers, in particular, cruise influencers. One has announced, well, he's quitting the cruise line industry as a worker. And another is they got banned from a cruise line for 5 years. And the reasons, they just might surprise you. So in our first story, we have Chris Wong, who is a casino host. He's been working with Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines 12 years. I met Chris, very nice young man, and always polite, always friendly, always has a big smile on his face. And he's done many of those, behind the scenes kind of videos. Here's my cabin tour. Here's how much we make on Royal Caribbean. Here's, where we eat. Here's what we do for fun. All those kind of videos that crew members tend to do on cruise ships who are starting channels. Well, he just said he's going on his last contract. It's going to be on the Allure of the Seas, which is currently doing Mediterranean cruises out of Spain. And I actually was almost on this ship in August, but because of a tight flight schedule, I had to choose a different ship. I just wouldn't have made it to the Allure in time. So, Chris, we're sad to see you leaving Royal Caribbean, because you've always been a very good ambassador for the cruise line, and I am eagerly awaiting your future content when you finish this contract, and see, as you decide that you are going to keep going loyal to Royal, you also want to hit pinnacle level, and I look forward to seeing your adventures as a guest on a Royal Caribbean ship, as opposed to being an employee on the cruise ships. Often, it's definitely a big difference. It's definitely a huge difference being a guest or being an employee and having to work, 7 days a week while you're on the cruise ship. But it's going to be interesting to watch that perspective. So Chris, I wish you all the best, and I can't wait for your future content. Next, let's talk about the podcast and YouTube channel that runs Sail Away Magazine. Now, that's an actual UK magazine. You can get a hard copy. You can sign up for their soft copy. They have the website, and they cover all kinds of things to do with cruising. Especially out of Britain. So, like P&O Cruise Line, Cunard Cruise Line, they'll do a lot more of those type of cruise reviews, which is probably why I don't see a lot of their videos pop up on mine, as I'm usually searching for either destinations that I'm going to, like Japan or Africa, or I'm searching for what's happening with the major cruise lines, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, etc. But they did pop up on my schedule the other day, a few months ago, when they introduced Emma from Emma Cruises. And she's a good friend of mine, and I like to see what she's up to every once in a while. And so they had her on one of the podcasts. So I started watching them. I watched a couple of their videos that pop up every once in a while. And I saw a recent video where they were on a Carnival cruise ship, and they said it was their worst experience ever, and that they hated it in the thumbnail. 2 weeks later, Carnival UK sent them a letter saying that they are banned for 5 years, at which point they will reassess the ban after 5 years. Now, this is not Carnival North America, this is Carnival UK, but that still affects all of Carnival. That's 93 ships that they are no longer available to go on, being Carnival, P&O. They can no longer go on Princess, Holland America, Cunard. They can't do any of those cruise lines. That is devastating when you're trying to run a magazine about cruising, as well as a YouTube channel about cruising. Now, they were sent a letter that says, let me see if I can read this correctly for you. Following a review of your recent interactions with us, we believe that you have both clearly demonstrated that we cannot offer a holiday that you are looking for. It is thus no longer appropriate for you to travel with us or any of the Carnival Group brands. Now, they did have a pretty scathing video about that, and they have been hard on P&O in the past. They've been hard on the Carnival UK's new CEO, but they've also said some pretty darn good, nice things about some of their product as well. In fact, the scathing video, they went on and on about how wonderful the crew member who fixed the situation for them was. So what I'm like, there are so many YouTubers out there that cover both. The good, the bad, the ugly, right? Everybody covers it. I cover it, Tony covers it, Ship Life covers it, Gary Beveridge covers it, Emma covers it. You name it. There's hundreds of people always covering cruising out there and their experiences on individual ships. Now, did Carnival think that they are overly negative every time they get on one of their brands? And they decided, yeah, this is, we just can't have it all the time. They're not fair. And if that's what they're deciding, that's a difference. If they completely think that they're being not fair to the Carnival brand, you can see why they're banned. But if they're just banned because they're not always positive, one bad thing, two good things kind of thing, but the headlines look like I hated the cruise, right? It gets a negative feedback. But the thing that I got a thing out of, now they also admit on when they're announcing this that they've had interaction with Carnival UK themselves, back and forth. And that whole part about our recent interactions. Now, was that interactions that the cruise line wanted them to take the video down? Or was that them just, was there something else behind the scenes? There's always two sides to every story, right? But to ban somebody for not having only good things to say is a very scary proposition. And I have a wonderful relationship, even with the cruise lines that I'm negative about sometimes. They know that I'm saying what I feel and only doing it to give suggestions on how to make things better. I'm never 100% negative on any cruise, ever. Ever, ever, ever. And, I've never come across that. You got to look at both sides. But I've also never had negative interactions with anybody representing the cruise lines. So I've talked to Princess behind the scenes. I've talked to Royal Caribbean. I've talked to Celebrity, MSC, Norwegian, Holland America. I've talked to dozens and dozens of different people representing different reasons and stuff like this. And it's always respectful. And it's always, this is their opinion. This is what I see. Can we come to an agreement? Yes or no? But they realize I'm there to listen, and I'm not looking to pick on them. And I'm hoping that's how they come across when they were talking to them as well. I have no doubt that they want to, right? I have no doubt that they feel that, yes, I'm the paying customer, and this is what my experience was. I should have the right to say it. And they absolutely should. But it's that behind the scenes interactions that I'm wondering about. Now, Cruise Hive magazine did reach out to Carnival UK, and basically Carnival UK said, we consider this matter closed. Now, again, if there's some behind the scenes stuff, Carnival may not want to say anything because it could be legal actions or whatever. But I'm hoping this isn't going to be a trend. I'm hoping this isn't a trend where if you say anything negative, you get banned. Because I think that will really hurt the cruise lines. I think all of a sudden, if they start doing this to one, and then it happens to two, and then a third, eventually people are going to say, wait a minute, what are you hiding? I don't know. But again, it's two sides to every story. But it is concerning. But again, we have no idea what those recent interactions are. Only Carnival and the guys from Sail Away magazine. I wish them all the best. I hope they can get together and just work this out one way or another. But yeah, as a person who covers cruising for a living, if I was all of a sudden banned from 9 different cruise lines, especially some of those popular cruise lines in the area I sail from, the country I live in, that would be devastating. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys think? Do you think they did something wrong? Do you think there's way more to this story than we're hearing from? Do you think, no, they're trying to censor them? What do you think? And as far as Chris Wong is concerned, I wish them all the best. If you see him on the Allure of the Sea, please say hi to him for me. Say Don says hi. Keep watching and enjoy his videos. Until next time, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.